series here with you. So definitely think we're going to see some huge plays, and since it's only two qualifiers left, teams are going to be at the top of their game here.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, you would hope so, right? I mean, here it is. It's a pretty big deal here. Trip to DreamHack on the line. A chance for, could be for that prize pool, but also just great more competition, another lane event. Again, BMG's kind of this interesting story. They kicked Krake after the World Finals, just things weren't working out for whatever reason. They picked up Mighty Marcus. He's a very solid player. He's made some big plays for the team, but you got to think you kind of do math, and it's like, well, what was the biggest difference? Why are they kind of not doing too well all of a sudden? A new player, that's pretty much the obvious answer. I mean, how much do you think it is a new player, or do you possibly think it's even something else?
I think it has to be a little bit of both. I mean, any kind of team can have a sleeper season after that huge championship. I don't know if they celebrated too much, they didn't practice enough, but I mean, it's probably a lot to do with the fact that Mighty Marcus hasn't practiced with them much, but it's definitely not the only factor, I think. I mean, look at a team here like Team Grief.
Yeah.
They're all experienced players, but they haven't been playing together all that long, and they've managed pretty well in the qualifiers thus far. So I think it's a little bit of both for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point there. But anyways, holy crap, we are flying through this draft. So let's start talking about what we got going on here between Team Grief and Bad Monkey Gaming. The initial bans, Kinesis, Warbeast, Swiftblade, and Parasite coming out there. You see the Kinesis ban coming out from Chioli, so definitely some good respect to Boxy there specifically, knowing to play a sound Kinesis. The pickups go Puppet Master into Behemoth, Midas into Rhapsody, and Moira into Madman. Honestly, what's standing out to me, Moira third picked. Moira has been such a popular support hero. And on top of that, BMG didn't pick up Moira. They had the chance. Instead, they went with Rhapsody over Moira. Not that Rhapsody's a bad hero, but I don't know. Moira's just been doing a lot of work lately. What is your take, Matt?
Yeah, Moira is an extremely strong support hero, and especially in the hands of Koei. I mean, he's been playing him a lot, or even yesterday and previous weeks in the tournament, so that's going to be dangerous. But what's really interesting to me is that first pick Behemoth by BMG. I mean, I'm super excited to see that, and I mean, I want to say probably Rudiz going to be playing that. He's played it earlier this week too, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that for sure. Strong hero nowadays.
Extra strong nowadays with that enraged buff. We got a glimpse into that. Mickey for Sync in the Deadeye Bounty League. He ran the farming behemoth. And again, I think that was a little bit more to kind of just to have fun, showing for the fans. I don't think that's going to become a trend by any means, but
Yeah.
we got a glimpse as to the potential of how hard this hero can actually hit now. With
It's
that
insane.
new enrage, yeah.
I mean, enrage 4 second cooldown. All right, so that's 1.5 second stun with max level heavyweight. It's like it's never-ending stun and damage now.
Yeah.
So I like him in the carry role, honestly, but
It's
maybe
fun.
not.
It's fun, but I can see why, because I think it ultimately comes down to he's honestly just such a good initiator. So knowing that
Yeah,
you can at least get some benefit of that buff still, but also still have him be that strong initiator is a pretty good feeling.
absolutely.
You're probably going to end up in the hands of Rizzi, as they're pointing out. Moraxis picked up here. Now, this is another hero. I'm actually very surprised we actually didn't see him yesterday, because this guy got a lot of attention in the patch, and there's people that a lot of the pro players seem to agree that he got some pretty significant buffs that's going to make him pretty popular here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the ability to have it immobilized may not be the easiest to land, and you gotta have to have at least level 7, 4 points in the axis to get that ability. But I think it's going to be extremely useful, as well as the buff to Arcane Shield. So
Yeah.
that additional move speed, and yeah, he was always a favorite hero of mine, and I was surprised he didn't get picked more often, but definitely glad to see him in the matchups now, and hopefully more of him.
Yeah. They got several initiators now with SA, him and then the Behemoth on top of that, so that's also a little intriguing. More of those AoE, going to get that portal key sooner than later, I'm sure, but definitely both have the presence to be able to jump in and get the AoE stun off and cause chaos, of course. So back over to Team Grief side. I always get confused with a team like this, man. Not tagging up and anything. It's just shame
Yeah.
on them. Anyways, they finish it off with Rally right there. So overall, the Rally and then the Kraken even before that coming out. So yeah, looking at their lineup, not going to be running a jungler here. I suppose more of a... Well, actually, what is that going to... So is that going to be a support Midas then? Or support
Um,
Puppet even? No, they wouldn't do that.
yeah, I mean, I guess it could be. I mean, Midas. I mean, if you look at like what you like in a support, it's the ability to do stuff without items, and
Probably
I mean, he
Rally,
still has
actually.
that lockdown.
I
Yeah,
would think Rally, actually, now I think about it.
that too. I
Yeah.
mean, they could be either way, honestly. It's but it probably makes more sense to have the rally in there. At least his ultimate's unaffected by items, and he's got that mobility
Yeah.
that he grants to his teammates. And there you go. They finish up with Valkyrie for BMG.
That they do. And actually, it's going to be in the hands of Baltazar, it looks like. So they choose Valkyrie as kind of their carry hero. Again, BMG is known for doing this. It seems like teams have liked this option of going the Valkyrie carry. Baltazar are going to be planted, but Mighty Marcus, Mackay as he's now known as, getting his hands on the Madman here. So this is the other intriguing thing about BMG, not only with the new player, but it seems like they've been kind of trying to get a feel for ultimately how they're going to lane as far as players go. I believe they have transitioned more into Boxy being more to the middle role, and actually Mighty Marcus, Mackay, whatever you want to call him now, he's more of the suicide instead. So, and I believe we're kind of
Yep.
getting a reflection of that here.
Yeah,
Which
he's
they're playing.
definitely been playing a lot of suicide roles. I mean, whether it's like the Swift Blade or the Madman or even Midas a couple times, like they seem to like him in that position. So, but I like the Valkyrie pickup because Legion side, although they have a puppet master, it's kind of like a single core lineup. So I mean, it's not like they're gonna be trying to take it super late and have like two heavy hitters, whereas Valkyrie Madman both kind of have that potential. So I think the Valkyrie pickup was pretty safe and it's
Yeah.
pretty appropriate for this matchup here.
Well, and of course, there's that 7,000 range arrow now. That's pretty appealing. We were actually talking about that a little bit yesterday. We did see it a couple times yesterday, and again, I think the ultimate conclusion came to be it's one of those things on paper. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds over the top. It sounds amazing. In practice, it's not really the most practical thing, to be honest. In fact, we saw a couple of arrows
Yeah.
yesterday that basically went 7,000 range and actually hit somebody, and then nothing happened because no one was really ready for that to happen on their side. And it's just like they weren't able to follow it up in time. So
Yeah.
it seems like it's a little just on paper it's fun, but yeah, it's not really the biggest deal.
I mean, the Valkyrie herself is never going to be able to close that gap, especially if she's throwing it over cliffs and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's completely reliant on the other hero, unless like she throws it and immediately queues up a TP,
Yeah.
like hoping that she lands it. But yeah, so more just, I mean, we'll have to see how teams really use it or utilize it to its best thing, whether it's picking off a hero that's running back to the base like you would with a Pharaoh rocket or something like that, or even stunning Kongor from miles away or scouting Kongor.
Yeah,
But
that,
it's definitely going to be useful.
I think the scouting is actually what you hit on the nail right there. If anything, it's the scouting purpose. Like, not even necessarily expecting to hit anybody, just using it as a scouting tool. And
Yeah.
now they can go that far, even, is pretty cool. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. We'll keep an eye, of course, any 7,000 range arrows happen in this game from Baltazar here. But it does look like it is going to be a secondary support rally here. Massera, the one playing, you see the items and everything. So, yeah, it makes sense there. Rally, we have seen that before. But again, it also comes down to how are they going to lane this now? Because, I mean, they could have the rally babysit the Puppet Master, I guess, and more middle with Kraken. Or are we going to see some kind of an aggressive tri-lane even coming out from these guys?
It's hard to say. I mean, either of those options would actually be viable, but maybe they're kind of get something basic out there and see what BMG does, and then maybe adjust accordingly. I think that's kind of how it's going to work here. But
Yeah. Well, we'll have to wait a little bit longer, apparently. Anticipation here is going to pause it. Obviously, again, with so much being on the line, I want to make sure that things are set up and good to go. The other series, guys, Reason Gaming versus Team Disband. It looks like they haven't started just yet. Again, as usual, we'll keep an eye on that series and to let you know any updates that we have from over there. I don't believe anyone's casting it right now, unfortunately, but again, we'll let you know any updates that we have. Quincy seems like he's usually pretty good with that too. But of course, the winner of this series plays the winner of that series over there later on today. And what would then be the finals to determine the fourth team? And again, knowing that we're down to only 2 qualifiers, man, it's such a crazy because there's still so many teams that you could expect to ultimately advance on. BMG and Reason are no doubt the big name teams that come to mind, but you got Team Grief right here. Obviously, Team Disband is showing. You got then your Solaire Club, Team Who, Shrek is Love, just qualifying in this qualifier here. So there's definitely some quality teams.
absolutely, yeah, and And with the balance patch too, that kind of opens up the window for these newer teams to do new strategies.
Yeah.
Whereas the older teams that like BMG might have their tried and true strategies and not be as appropriate as they were before. So
Mhm.
I'm sure that's going to have an effect on the remaining qualifier matches too.
The pressure is on, no doubt. And yeah, that even goes back to BMG. It's even on a little bit more for them. Here we are, the defending world champions, and not qualifying for them the next major LAN when 5 teams qualify for it. That would say something, and that would be a little disappointing to say the least. So, anyways, enough of that. Don't want to put too much pressure on them. So we'll see what happens, though. But yeah, nobody doing Congo here. Obviously, as we can see, just as usual, having fun with that. So as far as the lanes, though, it looks like Rally's heading back up top, so the idea of the tri-lane going to be happening. Of course, BMG going to do their signature Ruta Z Behemoth here, going to try to pull the creep wave and use that to farm with, I'm sure, as they're known to do. Or is he actually? He's kind of over here for the time being, so perhaps not. Maybe something new going to be happening here. He's not going to block anything like that.
Fusen did put that ward there. I wasn't sure if they came into the range, but I mean, by now they for sure know that it is a tri-lane, so maybe try to do something sneaky here.
Yeah. Yeah, Behemoth's sitting really far back, but want to maybe go try to pull the next creep wave. But yeah, especially with the tri-lane being up here, that's not going to happen easy, at least. So they're going to box him out pretty well right here. It seems like both teams, though, definitely have some pretty good potential in this tri-lane. I mean, on paper, as actually Behemoth running into Moira here, this could turn into something, because Rally's running over. There's the Shards of Harkon coming out. Rally has a Compel stun. Going to actually hit it himself, gets a range for some auto attacks. And Behemoth, if we got some good hero blocking, going to block off Moira, actually. Well played right there. Shards of Harkon going to be coming up, though. Yeah, if that hits, that's probably dead. Oh, he gets the hit. Yep. One auto attack. Bloodlust kill, just like that. 4 Macera right there. Well. That's, to say the least, a very good start here for Team Grief.
Yeah, I mean, Behemoth really put himself in a bad position there. And in terms of, like, just if they do end up lining in Triverse Tri, Rally is probably a good counter pick up to that Behemoth, because any kind of Fisher block, Rally's just going to be able to disengage with the Compel and kind of save his teammates. So I think that's where the laning matchup was decided for Team Grief here.
Yeah, Compel a fantastic tool in a situation like this, no doubt. So you see Moira right there checking in on the pole camp. They did actually block it with the rev ward. Is this rev ward in range? It is. So they just need the courier, though. They need vision to be able to take care of this. I don't know if Rhapsody's going to be able to get in there to ultimately get it taken out. So that's kind of an interesting block right there, and also well played, of course, by the side of Legion. But anyways, again, kind of analyzing this this top try versus tri lane. Now, we know with the Bloodlust kill, obviously, perhaps an advantage there now for the Legion team, if anything, but could you see it either way, or is this just going to be a battle and, whoever gets the jump or whatnot?
I think that Legion side will play it more defensively and just kind of secure the farm onto Puppet Master, because if they wait for the aggression from Ruta Z, I mean, they're always going to be able to either, get away or possibly, wait for the cooldowns and then maybe counterattack kind of. So but I have to say, I give it to Legion side the advantage in this tri lane right now. So I don't know if they need to maybe have Behemoth do some pull into the jungle, because they're not going to really get kills here.
Yeah. You see, obviously, in the lane positioning right now, it's definitely in favor, too, of Team Grief. Now, it's into the tower right here, so going to be pushed back out a little bit. So, yeah, we'll see if they're ever able to get the... But you'd figure, even if he does get a pull-off, I mean, they're not going to let that go easy. Moira and Rally going to most certainly...
True. That's true.
Basically make it difficult, if impossible. So, really, it's kind of like this aggressive tri-lane choice here from Team Grief is really proving to be the effective one. But, look at the bottom lane. Midas coming in. You got Madman. I don't think he has a clue. They don't have vision down here yet. There's the transmute coming out. Kraken applies to Tori. You see the invis over from Madman. Yeah, without Dust, I guess they really weren't going to get that kill.
Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. Kraken wasn't really in range. He didn't even attempt a tsunami charge there either.
No. It was best to just save that in the end. So, but obviously, so we'll keep an eye on that top lane. But let's take a look at the other lane, see how things are going so far. Midas 13-4 against a Moraxis who's 20-5. So again, this new Moraxis and his potential. Seems like Boxy's having a much better time here. Would you think you're surprised, or?
It was actually pretty even before Midas did that fail gank down bottom, but Yeah, I think Meraxis is pretty well suited to match up against. Oh, we got action here for a second. Stun coming out onto Myra. He's going to lock him down. Transpeed stun comes out to save her. So they're both going to get away here.
Well, you saw him use that Arcane Shield, by the way, and that actually does absorb the Shards of Harkon. So
yeah.
that's a very smart choice there from this team, as well as, Boxy himself playing that very well. So nearly got the turn kill onto Mora. But he also did bottle up the region anyway, so, not necessarily the biggest deal in the world that he lost the mana right there. So, yep, going to pop it right there. So, but yeah, you're pointing out that I guess it was probably pretty even before Midas did rotate.
Yeah, but I think Meraxis has the advantage. Look how tanky he is. He's just going to drop out the Quake Stun. He's throwing out another hammer here.
Oh, wow.
And,
is that going to be a kill? It is.
That's a kill, yeah.
Well. The new Meraxis, baby. Trucking through.
Midas no boots. Just walked right up on him, bottom lane, too.
Madman's chasing him down. No, I was going to say, he needs to be careful, though, because Release of Kraken now be coming out, but it didn't hit him. The misplacement right there from Super KGE, and that could cost him his life. He's trying to evade, but the barrel roll from Madman. Yeah, those creeps. He is not liking those creeps right now. So definitely well played by Mackie for sure, but man, if Super KGE just lined up that Release of Kraken a little closer, that could have very likely been a kill for him instead.
Absolutely.
In the end, comes up
love
close.
to see Suicide Heroes really getting into it and trying to get that advantage. I mean, it's a 1v1. You gotta expect that Mackey's or Mighty Marcus doesn't get the opportunity very much, so he's gonna take advantage of it. A lot of times you get boxed out and you don't get to have much impact on the game. So.
Yeah, you see Super KG is definitely having the better creep farm even still after that death. So I guess I wouldn't be too surprised, though. Kraken definitely a very powerful melee 1v1 hero especially. But especially with that death now, that definitely puts Mackey up there, and they're going to once again harass one another in the meantime. So something fun about Tri-Lanes, too, keeping an eye on items especially. And you look at the Legion side, Rally has a mana battery. No one else has a mana battery that's up here at least. So, but the Hellborn team, no mana batteries on them, and that's honestly a little surprising to me that we don't see mana batteries more between these guys.
We pretty much saw yesterday how much of an impact it had. It pretty much single-handedly won them the tri-lane, I'd want to say.
Yeah.
Oh, initiation onto Valkyrie.
They're going to be trying to leap away, and she gets it off in time, actually, so that was pretty big. Compel in. That was a very late compel from Rally. A little bit lucky that, Behemoth wasn't necessarily positioned the best. It might not matter, though. The arrow on top, it's not going to be enough. The health potion, just enough to save Rally. If Root of Z was actually there a little sooner, that was a kill.
That battery came through in the clutch, really, though. Rally was going to be dead if he didn't pop it.
Just as we're talking about it, go figure. Oh, my God. Bottom lane, again. Mackie gets another kill. What is going on down there, man? Super's just having trouble, apparently. Middle lane, you see more axes going on to Midas now. Midas going to be fine, though, as he gets away there. But I'm shocked that he now has 2 kills on a Kraken at the bottom.
Now level 8, and he's 4 points in the stock and barrel roll. That's a ton of burst damage. Not to mention that, he can disjoint the torrent, and he's kind of just messing around with him with someone. Every time he uses a spell, he's just going to stalk away. And Madman's really strong in a 1v1 against the melee, or any hero, I guess.
Yeah, but, we're kind of going over that earlier. But so is Kraken, right? with that splash auto attack and the fact he can usually hit the Tsunami charge a little easier if he needs to because he's going up against a melee. So, maybe he's just, obviously we saw the first one. I didn't catch the second one. I don't know if you did either, but perhaps just playing a little too aggressive once again.
And we saw he did die on his tower. I saw that much.
Yeah.
But definitely too aggressive. He had 10 charges on the mana battery. He must have had some. Just maybe didn't have a chance to use it.
So, what would you like to see on Madman, would you say? Now that he's level 9, he's obviously having a great time down here now. What do you think he should pick up here?
He doesn't have a ton of gold, but Energizer, probably not the worst item to build up. I guess it depends on how the pace of the game goes. If they start taking an early advantage, definitely wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Yeah.
Eventually, even into a quick brutalizer if his farm is good, because he's already put a point into Berserk there, so he's gonna have the attack speed for sure.
Yeah, we constantly talk about, this is one of these nice heroes that you don't necessarily need a whole lot of farm on with the skill set it allows for him to do quite a bit, and that's, I think, why BMG ultimately really likes to run him, especially in the suicide role. He's ran by other teams, every now and then, but it seems like BMG's very comfortable doing it. Kind of gives him a second carry option, too, but as we say that, Madman now in a lot of trouble. Rowley comes in with the compel. Do they have enough locked in, though? They don't have dust. Oh, geez, yeah, you can't try to gank a Madman with no dust. I don't know why they're trying.
Absolutely, yeah. That was another. This is the second or third time now they've tried to gank him, and committing all these resources, he gets away just fine. But you can see this pretty much rotated the tri-lane down here because Kraken isn't having the best time, so they basically just traded lanes here.
Well, you think that's because Kraken's not having the best time, or more so Puppet Master? Because you look at Puppet Master, only 200 gold per minute, actually. So yeah, we weren't really focusing a whole lot on the tri-lane after the initial kill, but honestly, I mean, it wasn't really the best farm for either side. Valkyrie, with that said, though, is leading in creep kills. Yeah. By quite a bit, so a little bit surprised there, actually.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it was pretty even. I noticed Valkyrie pulling ahead a little bit, but I mean, there was some action down at bottom. I didn't keep an eye on the tri-lanes to see exactly what caused Valkyrie to have such an advantage. Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure, but one way or another, she did take over.
Houston is easily Mammoth's biggest fan with 22 picks. Number 2 is Nullstone with 13. So there you go, kind of backing up. I said earlier that, yeah, these guys like to play this Madman hero, and especially in that suicide role. So it kind of gives them the nice secondary carry option. Again, the Valkyrie more of the go-to carry this game was choice of who's playing it and whatnot, the positioning. But Madman most certainly, gets the Energizer, as you point out, Brutalizer, Shrunken Head especially, too. Can definitely do some work. And a chase down Midas right here. Midas is actually out of mana. This could be something. Moro's coming in, though, so maybe not. But, I mean, you see that Madman's able to do this, kind of distract him so much. You got the dual supports kind of roaming over. Midas not even in the middle right now, so it seems like Team Grief's having some troubles here.
They for sure are. Oh, action at top. No, he's going to get away. But look at the levels, though. Madman's level 10, and compared to the highest person on Legion team is 8. That's the Kraken. So yeah, he's going to be able to freely roam and just really cause havoc, kind of disrupt the flow of their game.
Puppet Master here. It seems like Assassin Shroud, perhaps the popular choice. Whispering Helm, obviously another popular choice. As I say that, he is going to be going the Whispering Helm. It is Haxer after all, and he tends to build more the passive, I want to farm kind of route. What do you think about that, especially considering where they're at here in this game? Do you think that is the best choice?
I like the Whispering Helm better. Oh, action at top here.
Valkyrie leaps away, gets the transmit off, though. It's not going to be enough. In fact, Valkyrie looking to turn this. She had an arrow. No, she didn't have an arrow. And at least scares them off.
Yeah, I like the Whispering Helm better than the Assassin Shroud, just because Assassin Shroud's probably still going to get caught out a lot. They have a ton of AoE abilities that aren't targetable, so the Fisher Stun, once PKM or Axis, the Quake Stun, all kinds of spells that they can still hit him while he's invisible. Now Madman's going to get bursted down here by Myra and Puppet Master.
Well, bursted, not so much.
No.
You see, that damn. In fact, now Moira's in trouble. Oh my God, she goes down. That's brutal. That just happened. He chose not to use the Voodoo Puppet, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have been a kill, but probably not, to be honest. He has a Mystic Vestments, and now you see a Mighty Blade here even picked up. So
not exactly the easiest to target a Madman either. He's stalking. He popped an Illusion Rune.
Yeah.
Imagine you accidentally use it on an Illusion. That's pretty embarrassing. So playing it safer, I guess.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, I don't think the Assassin Shroud would be too strong in this game. So not that the Helm of the Dominator or Whispering Helm is going to be either. Don't know why I call it that. But
gee, I wonder why.
I mean, I played Dota 1. Never even played Dota 2. So I mean, that's like a 10-year-old memory.
Oh, I know.
But yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be tricky. And here comes a bunch of Veiled Rots down bottom. Gonna go on to Puppet Master.
Oh, geez. Yeah, he is out of position right here, definitely, and he is gonna be. Well, eventually killed off. Don't see him getting away. Yeah, eventually killed off as expected. So good roam there for the supports, and yeah, Rhapsody and Behemoth clearly beginning to get active now. So it hasn't been the typical route of Z Behemoth game by any means. Hasn't been able to pull. His farm's not looking the greatest here early on, but at least assisting in a kill right there, and will slowly begin to progress. That's definitely one of the benefits of a hero like Behemoth. Doesn't really need a whole lot of build-up, just really can go straight into the portal key, maybe after Striders. and be
Yeah,
good to go. So
absolutely. And I don't think they expected Madman to have such a good game, but they're definitely not going to be complaining at this point. Meraxis just picked up his portal key. Madman's at 350 GPM, and their carry Valkyrie is right around 300, so they're sitting really comfortable. And the fact that probably they didn't anticipate, like I said, they didn't anticipate that farm on Madman solo.
yeah.
So they got 2 carries in a pretty good position, where if you look at the GPMs on Legion side, Team Grief's not having the best time.
I mean, it's safe to say, definitely at this point, all 3 lanes were won by BMG, and that's why we're seeing the game as it is right now. As obviously they got a free kill on a Moira right there, using the portal key, as you mentioned, that Moraxis just picked up. So, and it's not like they were outmatched by any means. I mean, that goes back to the matchups there. You'd figure Midas could at least hold his own against Moraxis. You'd figure Kraken could definitely hold his own against a Madman, to be honest, but it's just it did not work out for them, especially with Kraken dying twice to the Madman. And then the top lane, obviously, that was a little surprising. But for whatever reason, the Valkyrie was able to get many more last hits than the Puppet Master in the top lane.
I think it speaks a lot as to maybe BMG's trying to make a statement, and specifically Mighty Marcus. I mean, he was kind of nobody's really pointing the finger, but he may have been accused of being the scapegoat as to why BMG's having no poor success. And he's on top of his game this time. A couple of failed ganks by Midas, so that gives the advantage to Meraxis and Madman too. So sometimes the game just doesn't go your way. I mean, missing a gank from all the way running from mid to bot twice is really detrimental to your everything, pretty much.
Kind of really stalls your progression, no doubt. So Moraxis, you mentioned he's got the portal key. Actually, he's going to pop to Veiled Rot right here that he just got delivered to him. So we'll see if he finds a good opportunity or not. But again, Boxy's progressing, 370 gold per minute now. Portal key, not too surprising to see that first pick. But what do you think we should expect to see on Moraxis as far as a second item here?
I really think he's going to be taking over this game real soon. It could be a number of different things, even like a health flower, or even if he just wants to bulk up. And he did pick up the vestments, so depending on like if the ganking goes well, he might grab an offensive item. If he starts to falter a little bit and the Legion team does group up and get counter kills, and then we'll see him tank up, I think.
Okay.
Even like a Helm of the Black Legion or something like that.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on what he does ultimately pick up. Man, look at the top lane. All 5 heroes are up here. They were trying to set up a gank on a Valkyrie, I guess, but Baltazar is just not having any of it, and it's clear why. Look at the Ward of Sight giving him all that information that, hey, they're trying to set up a 5-man gank on me. I'm going to go elsewhere and farm. As you see right here, in fact, a triple stack jungle camp, that works just fine. So, yeah, you could tell Team Grief is really desperate right now when they're doing that 17 minutes into the game. And it's not happening.
It's really their only chance is maybe get some good AoE synergy going on between Kraken, Midas, and Rallial, but it's not going to happen. I don't think Hellborn's going to take the bait. You can see clearly it's more to their advantage to just split push the lane. So they're not even pushing towers fast with this team. I mean, they clear the wave, but it is an act of desperation for Team Grief here. And I'm not sure what they can do to get back in this game, honestly. I mean, it's pretty early, but 9,000 experience lead.
That's tough. Well, maybe a fight here in the middle lane could be a start. Moira's going to try to catch Behemoth, but just out of range. No boots especially. There's no way you're catching up to the Strider's Behemoth, so he's going to be fine. Invisible Moraxis, by the way, with that Valkyrie Prism. He's kind of by himself right now. He does have backup coming, but this is going to be a very deep dive right here if they do choose to open, and it looks like, yeah, he's going to play the safe route. Going to say that would have been pretty risky to go that deep, so not necessarily worth it. And you actually see right there, kind of bulking up as you were mentioning. Looks like he just got that sacrificial stone picked up. And you know what? We were really putting this out yesterday, Snooey, my co-caster, and I, in the first rounds yesterday of the DreamHack qualifiers, that it didn't seem like any teams, for whatever reason, were picking up auras. And Sackstone's even one of those less popular auras, but even things like Abyssal Skull, Soul's Bulwark, just making sure you have it, even the Ring of the Teacher sometimes in the mid to late game, teams weren't having. And it's honestly a little bit mind-boggling that teams overlook stuff like this.
Yeah, it's pretty strange. I mean, if you're like had a strict strategy to avoid team fight at all costs, I could see holding off until the later stages to pick it up. But I mean, if you're gonna do any sort of roaming, even with 3 people or something, you need to have those team items. They're huge, especially Ring of the Teacher for its value. I mean, that's a must.
Yeah, not a whole lot of excuses not to have that, considering how cheap it is and what it does. But hey. For some reason. But yeah, speaking of that again, the Sackstone picked up on Moraxis. And he is also definitely a hero that could use a bit more mana, of course, how much he can spam those more axes of his. Now, especially even with the buff on top of that, so.
I'm surprised he doesn't have a chalice. Oh, what the? Kraken just got a 5-second arrow onto him after the feeding the Fisher. And just use the shockwave, secure the kill. Kill secured.
Well, there you go. There's that big arrow coming out right there. But yeah, you actually brought up a good point about Blood Chalice. That's an item that got some changes, and it seems like a lot of people like it. But yeah, not seeing it here.
It's amazing. It is amazing. I mean, you forget that like if you Blood Chalice and then you get the kill, that it was already that you got like the health back. But now that it's just you're able to give yourself the mana without even taking the health if you have a charge on it, it's so awesome. And yeah, it's just a really great rework to the item.
Yeah, you see Behemoth gets one of his own as we were talking about it, so he agrees there at least, and he's actually getting pretty close now to that portal key.
Yes.
1,500 gold saved up. You look at Madman's first item, by the way. He didn't go the Shrunken Head.
Shrunken.
Makes sense to you?
It's pretty reserved. It's a safe play. You can see, like, I feel like they are dominating right now, and if they wanted, they could be picking off heroes and stuff. But because they do have Madman and Valkyrie, they're just playing it safe and they're farming. You can even see he's comfortable farming in the Legion jungle, so I think it's okay. It's gonna buy time for him to farm up the rest of those damage items, and he picked up the Mighty Blade, so yeah, he already has the Brutalizer complete if he wants to buy it right now.
Yeah.
I think it's in stash, the Mighty Blade.
That's ridiculous that he already has 20 minutes in about 21 minutes. Make is definitely performed a woo! That arrow right there, almost hitting one of the guys at the Ancients. But again, that just shows you where the state that Team Grief is in. They're basically doing these triple stack Ancients as a full team. Rally's the only one out here. Macero's managed to get a portal key with that said. That's pretty good to see for this Legion side. In fact, he's going to drop it right there, act like, oh no, I'm just a lonely support. I don't got anything. But he does have that, so.
But he's level 7. He's got 0 points in battle experience. His ult's not even really going to be able to kill anybody. Maybe a Rhapsody.
Yeah.
But like, he's doing very minimal damage. No armor piercing or anything.
That is true.
They need to force enemy team to group up. I don't know. Maybe like get good wards up and just try to capitalize on any little positioning mistake that BMG makes at this point. But it is going to be increasingly difficult. Portal key on Behemoth any minute now.
Yeah, it's no doubt. When you lose the lanes as they did, all 3 lanes, it's not like they had a jungler or 2 that it's like, oh, at least the jungler was, they didn't even have that. I mean, just all 3 of their lanes, they lost it. It's obviously not a easy task to come back from that, to say the least. So they don't have any shining star, really. I mean, Puppet Master, 300 gold per minute now, but that's mainly because they're going around protecting him and just sitting next to him as he does triple stack Ancients and, some jungle camp. So, sure, he's going to have an Assassin Shroud here in the near future. They did just get the portal key on Super KG as well, and you got to figure, once that Assassin Shroud's finished, I mean, what better time than that to try to make some plays here? So, kind of going with what you're saying.
They have to get some big pickoffs hit. I mean, if they do get a kill, here comes the Valkyrie arrow onto Kongor, and they're going to burst on Kongor really quick here. He's got a double damage on Madman with the Brutalizer. So.
Solos it, no big deal. That's Madman.
But with the Shrunken Head on Madman, and just if they try to initiate, there's so much follow-up counter-initiation between a really, really farm-fat Meraxis and a Behemoth that it's going to be like really hard unless they catch somebody way, way out of position. And now the token on Madman, oh man, even with all those portal keys, it's going to have to be huge mistakes.
Yeah, you mentioned all those portal keys. Mine has just got hit, so they do have 3 portal keys here. They do have the Assassin Shroud finished on Puppet Master. Again, it goes back to what better time than now to try to make some plays here, because the longer you do wait, doesn't seem like you're going to be scaling much better than this Hellborn team. So, Moraxis, he has 3,200 gold saved up, so he's well on his way to getting whatever item he picks next. I like the Hellflower idea, especially now that he got the Sackstone first, so we'll see what he does choose to go for. But the rest of his team is going to be pushing the middle end in the meantime, as Moraxis heads top, actually, with an Invis rune. So it almost looks like they're thinking about setting up at the top lane, but they do kind of fall back, does the Legion side. to defend this middle tower, so maybe not as effective as they're hoping for from
Yeah.
BMG.
I think they thought Legion team sees a bunch of them pushing mid. That's their chance to take top tower, and then Miraxis picks somebody off. Because really, he could take on 2 people at once at this point.
Oh yeah, with that Matrax ability, especially. So he's, I mean, Kraken's still up here, just leeching experience, but his most favorite item: Steam Boost, Shrunken Item, Brutalizer, Energizer, Abyssal Skull, and Savage Mace. All right, so we'll see what kind of route he goes. Oh, Miraxis, nope, Portal Key. He avoids.
Bottom lane though, Midas is getting jumped on.
That he is. Yeah, if this Legion team is, if they're any big by themselves, you can say it's a safe bet that they're possibly going to be in trouble. See right there, so.
Yeah, I mean, BMG is really, though, they're at the top of their game, and they're playing it cool, calm, collected right now. They're not forcing anything, even though they probably could. But you can see they're just slowly, minute by minute, increasing their advantage to a point where it's going to be insurmountable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, this is definitely a case of Bad Monkey Gaming came here to play today, and it's good to see, you know, especially considering that, and we were talking about this at the end of the cast yesterday, that I almost thought it was worse for BMG the fact that they didn't play yesterday, because their opponent, We Are Us, whatever, those guys, they ended up forfeiting
Sad,
their first round matchup. Yeah, so but because of how difficult times BMG's been having lately, you figure at least they want to get some more tournament play in. Moving into the next round, so
and it could have been like if they won 2-0 or something, a morale boost, and they get to test out a strategy against a competitive team. They miss out on all that. It's kind of like a bye week, you know. And,
yeah.
I thought it would hurt them too, but they're doing pretty good. At least Kaoli's got some wards up in the jungle, but Hellborn team's not even in their own jungle, so like I think that's what they need is aggressive vision like that to catch greedy positioning. But
yeah.
See Madman down here.
Yeah,
not afraid of anything.
Well, he does have a token to be fair, I guess, but yeah, he's gonna look for a chance now. Gonna get some portal key uses at least. Oh, will he find the Puppet Master is the question. Puppet's doing a good job of evading right here, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna be fine. Yeah, he's gonna TP out.
That was a really smart route by Haxorn.
Good decision on his part, but so hey, he survives at least, but you're now going up against a 15,000 gold lead as well as a 16,000 experience lead here.
Yeah,
BMG.
and he just picked up a Mighty Blade, so it looks like he's going for a Shrunken Head. You got to wonder where the damage is going to be coming from, because Hellborn team aren't any slouches. Aside from Valkyrie and Rhapsody, the rest of the players are going to be heroes are really hard to kill. So you're going to need a lot of damage.
See right there. Oh, actually, middle lane Midas going to be caught out. He's going to be able to get his elemental warp off in time, but it obviously doesn't matter. They're easily pursue, and Moraxis, those axes of his, doing a lot of work. They deny the tower. The bottom tower goes down in the meantime. Even more things adding up as to why this is just continuing to be domination here from Bad Monkey Gaming. Nearly 5,000 gold saved up on Boxy, so he's going to be right-clicking something pretty fun here soon, I think it's safe to say. Especially knowing the lead that they have. Okay, a Frostfield play. Not too exciting, but I
love it.
Tanky
I like
item.
it. It's armor, and there's a lot of physical damage and slow and reveal. So yeah.
You know what I would have liked to see, especially with the way he was saving up? I honestly was almost expecting a Mock of Brilliance with the way he was saving up gold right there.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you're snowballing like this, and more access, especially with the Sackstone and the Steam Boots, and just how the hero works, he already is kind of tanky. So I think this is a little overkill, to be frank, considering the circumstance, but it is a sound choice. You know, at the same time, I'm being a little bit hypocritical, because I do find myself criticizing players when they do go these fun pickups and be like, oh, well, he better be careful. So
yeah. I like the Frostfield on him, though. Like you said earlier, maybe not so much anymore, but the hero does have a little bit of mana issues, and the fact that he spams his spells so frequently. So I think it's appropriate there, and just a general, his Quake Stun's really small radius, so an extra slow may help you get in there to get more than one hero with it. I like it. I like the item there. And yeah, if you can lock everybody down while your Matrax pumps up and you just get that huge explosion, it's such a fun hero. I mean, quite a few people I talk to, I mean, they think it's a boring hero, and I beg to differ. I don't know if it's just because I like initiation, but
No, I think a lot of the pro players, especially, were a little surprised again to see the significant buffs that he did receive here, because exactly he really always has just been a very sound choice, and we have seen him a fairly decent amount of times compared to other initiating heroes even. So, but yeah, he got those nice buffs, and there's even more reason now to pick up the skies he's showing here. And Valkyrie Prism going to be used. I don't know if they were spotted doing this. Honestly, I don't think they were. I don't think they were really next to a ward of sight. Now, they are running near rev wards, though.
yeah, they walked by a rev ward right there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, because I don't think they were spotted using it, so.
Nullstone on Madman.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess it's just
Extra safe, but
yeah.
look how much damage Valkyrie's going to be putting out. Yeah.
Frostburn, yep. Actually has a Blessed Orb, so probably something like a Geometer's Bane, I guess. Gonna be coming out here. So yeah, she's dealing plenty of right click herself, definitely. Obviously, Madman, and again, he's the kind of hero where a Brutalizer alone just allows him to be so effective with that Berserker, especially. So you can see the Legion team getting a little antsy here. they're kind of toying with him a little bit.
They can't force a fight, and it's so frustrating when BMG's playing safe and they're playing smart. It may not be the most, fun, but it's a DreamHack, man.
Doing
they
what it
win.
takes, yeah. And
they realize how few chances there are left.
Exactly. And you got to respect that, really, because, again, they have been a disappointment. There's no doubt they would even tell you here in these several qualifiers. And, again, even the Dead, just in general after the World Finals. So why not just make sure you take care of business and then maybe look to have a little more fun once again. But
that close arrow there. Hey, but they're showing respect for Team Grief.
Yeah.
They're not just charging in. They're saying, we know you guys are good. Marax is going to come in here.
There's the charge in. They jump on a Puppet Master. Shockwave follow-up. Not the biggest one, to be honest. Arcane Vortex will stall more, as nobody dead just yet. In the background, though, Kraken trying to find an opportunity more. Also running him up. Behemoth, he's going to be fine. And Maraxis with that Matrix up. He chases down another Genocide for Bad Monkey Gaming, and, well, that's how the game ends. So that was a climactic finish right there, is how it ultimately came to the conclusion. So.
Yeah, pretty big display of just how tanky. They all bulked up, right? So, everybody on that team, even if they focused, they almost couldn't even kill a single person. I mean, then you got to worry about Rhapsody, Protective Melody, Disco Inferno, all that jazz. So.
I think it's safe to say Team Grief pretty much knew that they were going to be losing that one, but they figured, why not at least let a fight happen? Because, again, that was really the first fight of the game, when you think about it.
Yeah,
at about 31 minutes in. So.
Fight.
They only ended up with one hero kill total on top of that. Yeah, it's just it was not a pretty game for them. But really, again, I don't think they played it horribly. Really, just BMG. They played it fantastic, more so, and deserve that credit. So, final thoughts on the game before we want to break here?
No, just impressed by Mighty Marcus. But yeah, looking forward to game 2 here.
As am I. Again, guys, you saw the update, too, from Quincy. They're still in the first game, I believe, themselves, but reason seems like they're having a pretty good time so far against Team Disband. We'll keep you guys notified on how that's going on, too, throughout this series here. So, but ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We got game number 2 going to be coming up here between Bad Monkey Gaming and Team Grief. Team Grief, they definitely need a good response, because